Gather round the fire, children, and Uncle Lee's going to tell you what life was like before cell phones were smart. Yes, in this video we're having a look at the HMD 2660 flip phone. Hi, I'm Lee, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. So this is what I believe the kids call a dumb phone, or I don't even know what, it's a feature phone. I think that's the politically correct term for it. First of all, price, $129, so really cheap. And it does nothing particularly fancy, but that's kind of the selling point of these. So let's first talk about a little bit about the features and functions, and then let's talk about where I think it fits in and who it could be good for. So there you go, there is the phone. Really shiny front. It is a complete fingerprint magnet, so just accept the fact that it's not going to stay clean for quite a while. I think it's quite a good looking phone. It comes in a few different colors. This is the violet or purple one, I believe. And to get to the back here, I'll show you that in a bit, because first of all I just want to open it up. Now you do have a screen on the front, and that will give you the date and the time, and if you're adjusting the volume it'll show you the adjustment of the volume on there. So that's the outside screen. Then when you flip it open, and I do really love the motion of hello, how's it going, and having a flip phone, being able to actually flip it. You can, if you want to hang up on someone, you could, well, I don't agree with you. You just don't clip your finger, but you get the idea. So for that alone, I think it's great. And then you get into the phone. That is your screen that you see at the beginning. It can take 2 SIM cards, so that's kind of cool. So you can see they've got 1 SIM card in and not another SIM card in. It goes up to 4G, so it will not connect to the 5G network. That doesn't really matter, because you're not going to use this for web browsing or social media or anything like that, because you can do web browsing on it, but quite frankly, I wouldn't bother. So let's go and have a look at the actual phone and some of the features and functions you can get in. So you can see there that it's showing me that I need to click to unlock, and I push the star button down here to unlock. And there we go. So now we're in the settings, and you've got call history. So there is your call history. And I'm just using these menu buttons to move backwards and forward. So the arrow's there. So that means this button is to go back. And then I'm using this sort of joystick type thing in the middle to go from one thing to another, and then this middle button to push. So there are my contacts. You can see there's all the important contacts. So for example, I could go into AD Mobile, and yep, there's the AD Mobile stuff, and then you can go out. You've got gallery. So there is a camera in here. It's really not all that worth mentioning. It's about the quality that you would expect from a camera of sort of these days, but yeah, so look, I can, oh, you can zoom in and everything. I'm sure Mandy will love that of me. So yeah, there is a camera, but it's not going to be winning any awards. Then in terms of the internet browser, now I can't get this to work for some reason. So when I go into the Mini Opera, it tells me that it's not working. I should check. I've checked all the settings. As far as I can tell, I've done everything correctly, but I've clearly missed a setting somewhere. But you do have web browsing on there in the Mini Opera browser, but like I said, don't even bother. Text messages. Now here's the thing with text messages. You young kiddies out there won't remember how bad this was, because you weren't around when this was the thing. But yes, if I want to go into my text messages and I want to type a new message, well, forget about recipient, you actually have to type out the letters like this. So for example, I'm going to try and type hello. So HELLO, and then space. So it is actually pretty good at the whole predictive text. How you. There we go. So it can be done, but yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. So yeah, so you can send text messages and reply, but it's going to take a bit longer than you would expect. Then, as I said, you do have a camera on here. So I will now take a photo of my little setup here. Actually, the lighting there is terrible. So let me take a photo of myself. And this is pretty good light. Actually, you know what? In pretty good light. So here's the thing. Capture failed. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Well, let me try that again. And I suppose from a selfie point of view, the fact that it's reflective on the back here, that is pretty cool. You do have a couple of different functions in here. So you've got, what's that? Oh, that's a timer. Cool. Okay, let me just cancel that. That's a very loud timer, isn't it? And you do also have a video mode. And I definitely appreciate that it forces you to change it into landscape. Big thumbs up from me on that. It's, yeah, I like that. So there we go. So there's the camera settings. Let's have a look at what that photo actually looked like. And you know, it's not terrible actually. So in good lighting, I think this camera better than not having it, but in low light, forget about it. Let's have a look at the next thing that we've got here. So this is our radio. So you actually have a built-in FM radio, so you can listen to radio channels on here. So that's pretty nifty. And it does have Bluetooth, so you can... Okay, yeah, hello. Does have Bluetooth, so you can connect Bluetooth headphones for listening to radio. It's got a few games built in. Now this is interesting. So here we go. So here's Snake, and for those who remember good old Snake, there we go. Yeah, so you do have the Snake game, which is pretty cool. And there's a couple of other little games, but interesting enough, and I'll get to this when we get into the menu, it actually, the other games you have to pay for, which, I mean, look, fair enough, it is what it is, but yeah, but at least Snake comes free, so that's nice. It also has an MP3 player, and I think, so it's got internal storage, and I'll put down here on the screen how much internal storage. I think it's got 128 megabytes of internal storage, and then you can put an SD card in here, up to 32 gigs, so you can store quite a bit of music on here. And you do also have a video player, and this is also to playback, shoot some videos. They'll show up in here when you record them. So this is for playing back videos that you have recorded yourself. I'm going to skip settings for a moment. You do have a calculator, so calculators are handy. So for example, 23 plus 45 equals. There we go. So that's nice to have. You've got a voice recorder. This is the extra game. So again, if I go into Airstrike, for example, oh, did I buy these or did I get the samples? See, I'm pretty sure it said there were sample ones, and I think they're sort of samples. You've got an alarm clock, you've got extras. So there you go, you've got a countdown timer, you've got a stopwatch, you've got a torch. So there's a torch, you know, better than nothing, I suppose, but it's, look, in the dark, it's going to be good, but I mean, I've got tons of big lights around me, so you're not really going to see a huge effect from that torch in this situation. Then you have a converter, so I like that. I like you've got temperature, weight, length, area, volume, currency, and then you type it all in. So the typing is a bit slow, but for those of us who remember how to type like this, I think you'd get it pretty quick. You've got the torch setting there. You've got files. Here's some extra games, calendar, counters, and yep, there's those extra games that I talked about. And that is all the settings that you have, all the menu stuff that you've got on the phone. So that is all the settings and stuff on the phone. Let me just switch it off, and then let me show you how to get to the battery, because an interesting thing, so it comes in this ridiculously small box, which, I mean, it makes sense because the phone is so small. But to get into the battery, you do have to sort of pry this off, so you just kind of need to get your fingernails into here. And I find that getting into that center bit, and then the back pops off, and then that is your battery, and your SD card goes in there, and your SIM card goes in there. So there's your two spots for your SIM cards. And then again, I like the fact that it's got a battery that's replaceable, so it's very easy to pop the battery in, pop the battery out. I don't know if you can get spare batteries. I think it'd be silly if they didn't allow you to get spare batteries, because yeah, that'd really be useful to have, you know, one or two spare batteries like back in the old days, so that if battery goes down, you can yeah, just pop in a spare battery. To charge it, you've got a USB port on the side here, and that is how you charge the phone. And the boot time is a little bit, so I've just pushed the power button there, and you can see it's going to take a few seconds for it to pop up. Nice little retro music, if you would. So who's this phone for? I think To begin with, I think it's definitely a great idea for kids. So if you've got a kid who you want them to have a phone so that they can contact you if they need to, $129 is pretty cheap for a phone. Obviously, you do need to then get a SIM card and get a contract for them, but that could cost you like 10, 15 bucks, maybe 20 bucks a month, probably less. I don't know, I haven't looked into that. But yeah, so I think definitely for kids, for people who don't necessarily want to be on social media all the time, but need to be contactable. So kids, but also I think, I hesitate to say this, but I think some older folks in our community may find smartphones are a little bit intimidating, and lots of buttons and the touchscreen can be a bit difficult for them. So there are a lot of people, not just more senior people, just general people, who just prefer the tactileness of having actual buttons and no touchscreen, and just having a simple phone to be able to contact people. Another nice feature of this is it is fairly durable. It is made out of plastic, so I wouldn't smash it about too much. It's IP54 water resistant, so it's not waterproof, but it can handle a bit of dust and splashes and things like that. But yeah, so overall, I think for $129 for a phone that just does what it needs to do, I think if you are looking for a feature phone as opposed to smartphone, this is definitely worth looking at. And that's pretty much my thoughts on the HMD 2660 Flip. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was useful. If you have found it helpful or useful, please like and subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so much for your support, and we'll catch you in the next one. Safe and happy flipping. That was really cheesy. I don't know if I want to do the flipping thing. You know, even the sounds are kind of retro, which is kind of nice. It's the whole retro thing. I don't know, because there's parts of the retroness that I like, and there's parts of the retroness of, you know, we put that behind us for a reason. Like the typing, I'm not a fan. But I must say, the tactile buttons, I do like tactile buttons, so that's pretty cool.